What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm JLAG.
And I'm NB.
And we are recapping and reviewing Riverdale Season 3, Episode 6, and it's called Manhunter. Da, 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 da.
And don't forget, guys, stick around for the ending of the podcast because we are going to go through our recap roundups, our best moments, our WTF moments. So be sure to stick around for that.
And for anybody who's coming through for the very first time, thanks so much for coming. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And for our returning listeners, thanks so much for coming back. Let's get into the episode, guys.
Ooh, let's get into it. So we
had MB, tell me all your feelings right now.
Okay. So we had a week off. So I feel like I got nicer in a week because I did like this episode.
Okay.
It was definitely like there was a lot to it. So it was very fast paced and I didn't even find myself watching the clock at all. So I was like, okay, you guys impressed me. You still have me.
For a sec, yeah.
It was just, there's a lot to really recap, I think.
Definitely a lot to divulge in this episode for sure. I think there was, to your point, we had a week off. We got a week to calm the F down and just like realize that the show is like, you know, just some crazy fun. So this episode definitely was like a lot more tame than last episode. So it was easier to get back into, but at the same time, so much happens. And this is kind of the episode where I can like say that this is my peak. This is like as far as I want to go in terms of crazy assness.
What do you mean? Last time wasn't your peak?
No, that was over my peak.
Oh, that's okay.
that was past my peak.
That one surpassed it. Okay.
This is like the normalized version of like how high I want to go in terms of how crazy this show can go. Because I think that this episode still had some flaws to it, and it still was very weird and awkward as to how things kind of wrap themselves up. But we can talk about that as we talk about the episode. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So it starts right off where we left off last episode with Betty at the bunker with Archie, like taking care of him. And as you remember at the end of the episode, last episode, Jughead sees the Gargoyle King. So he comes back downstairs and he's like, yo, I was going home and I saw the Gargoyle King and I followed him to an area and it was just a bunch of people, which we saw in the promo. He saw all these like kind of like gargoyle babies like walking like kind of with masks on and they were kind of worshiping him. So then Betty's like, who could they be? I don't know what the hell's going on. And Archie, in like his one and only moment, he was like, Joaquin knows something because he was doing something and he said he was going to leave a gang. And
like
so,
he kissed me last week and like I totally didn't even like it. It was so gross. And like I swear I didn't like it. But like, he's like up to something.
He's like, I'm definitely not gay anymore. But like, it was just... Yeah, it's definitely Joaquin's fault. So then Jughead's like, okay, so his mission this episode is mostly just to find Joaquin and like ask him all the questions.
Yeah.
And Betty's just like, okay, cool. So then it cuts back to the Cooper Res and everybody realizes that Archie's been AWOL and Alice is like, what the F is going on? Where have you been? Do you know where Archie is? And Betty just says, no, I don't know what the hell's going on. I just got home wearing my serpent jacket and I just like, you know, I'm just coming home. And Alice divulges the fact that the warden from the jail killed himself. And she... like Betty's eyes are like opening even higher and she's like, what the fuck's going on? And she's like, did you know Warden Norton? And Alice says, nope, I didn't know him at all.
Alice is like literally the worst liar ever. Like pretty much all the parents just can't lie for shit. Like,
okay, this is
like,
my question.
I didn't know him, I swear.
Like, who are you talking about, guys? What's going on? Yeah, you know what? I wasn't really catching on. I guess I wasn't aware. Like I was paying close attention, but I kind of bought what the parents were selling to me this episode.
No. Especially Alice. Like I definitely feel like this girl's always, she has like a second tier.
Shady.
Like she's just shady.
Yeah, it's
and
true. It's fair.
Betty's kind of trying to get more information out of her. So at this point, you obviously know like there's way more to the story than they're saying.
But then it begs the question: what are they doing and who are they protecting? Like it's very frustrating to watch this and like to know that these guys are lying, but why though?
Well, I guess we find out why later on.
Yeah, but still that doesn't really connect, right?
I just don't get
Like,
why they just couldn't say it. Like, what's the big deal? Someone died. Big shit. Like,
the whole thing about Daryl Doyley, right?
Yeah.
No, but that's not even that. Even past that, people are saying like there's still lies.com going on, right? So
yeah,
I don't understand like who's protecting who and why. And yeah, anyway, so we'll keep talking about that a little bit later, but you guys jump in the comments and let us know what you guys think about how this episode kind of unfolded and what you think the parents are up to. So anyway, it cuts back to the bunker and
we get a VARCHIE moment.
Yeah.
And I think it might be like the last one for a while.
Bye. Bye. So R.I.P. VARCHIE. We're just going to move on from this moment.
Yeah. It was a really cute moment, though, I have to say.
Yeah. But like we said earlier, like somebody I hope is cleaning these sheets and taking them to the laundromat because that place is dingy.
It's so funny. I just saw Cami Mendes' like tweet on Twitter. She was like, I hope someone's changing those sheets because like that'd be nasty.
That'd be nasty. That's so true. So anyway, they're all just talking, or no, it's just them two talking after they like boned each other.
Yeah.
And Archie
she asks him about, I think, the case files, right?
Right. And he's like, I know what happened to the boys from that guy at Shadow Lake, so I think I know where to go. And he kind of explains expositionally to the rest of the audience as to why he decided to like volunteer himself as tribute to go to jail. And I still wasn't buying it because he was
I definitely didn't buy it.
He was like, I was tired of putting my family and friends through hell. I'm like, well, you're putting your dad through hell by not telling him where the F you are. Like, you think that, like, putting your, like, this is not hurting your dad, like, just, like, running away and not telling him where the hell you are. Like, it's so, I felt so bad for Fred in this episode.
Oh, my God. Don't even start. Like, my heart... Literally, like, the only time I cry, I didn't even cry when, like, Veronica was saying bye to Archie. Like, I just cried at Fred because he was just so, like, shook and, like, taken. Like, he didn't even get to say bye to his son.
He didn't even get to say bye. Like, literally, I would slap this kid across the face. Oh, I cannot believe, but at the same time, like, the whole...
It's Archie.
All the parents kind of were like 2 steps too far behind, and I didn't understand why that was. I guess they're just like not in the know, but it didn't seem like even Fred was like doing enough to get there fast enough, you know? Yeah. Anyway, we can talk about that a little bit later too. So then it cuts back to the school, and Officer Mineta is basically
one quick thing before we get... I just wanted to ask you one quick thing before we get into the next one. Why is Veronica now asking for the case files? Like, wasn't this girl working on the Innocence Project from time? Like, wouldn't she have known where the case files were? Why wouldn't she be using them? Why wouldn't she try to be doing something 100%. With the case files?
She literally decided to break him out of jail before she decided to go back to these case files.
I didn't understand that at all. I was like, girl, were you not trying to put a case together?
That's what I'm saying.
I was so confused.
And you're telling me that like even freaking Sierra McCoy and like all the lawyers, freaking Mary, couldn't see that the freaking cup was empty and then like filled. Like, you had to get a 15-year-old girl to find the case file and then realize that on her computer. Like, I don't get it.
Like, before we even get into that, his mom is MIA. His mom, who is a goddamn lawyer, is legit MIA. Like,
she pissed off so fast. She was like,
I'm gonna work on his appeal.
Jail. She's like, bye. Like, she's
like,
freaking shopping in Chicago right now. Like, what the hell is she doing with her life? Okay, so anyway, digress back to the main story. Yeah. So yeah, it's back at school. Officer Mineta is grilling like an entire class of people. The mayor's there, and Josie starts
this is the big scene, okay? Like, this is the big scene from the promo that everyone's like, oh my God, Josie's gonna die.
Yeah. So he starts to grill her, and like, well, he's grilling the entire class, but like the camera kind of keeps going closer and closer to her
But like,
face.
JLAG, didn't you think that she was just looking up? Like, because like Sheriff Mineta's like right above her basically, because she's like the first row of desks. So like, to me, it just looked like she was looking up at him.
Yeah, I
was like glitching out.
Then she suddenly has a seizure. Guys, we're not making fun of the fact that people have seizures.
No,
it's
for
just,
sure, no.
It was a crazy moment, and like it happened so fast that I was like, "What just happened?" And so the entire class feels the same way. They're like, "What the hell's happening?" And then she kind of just passes out at her desk.
So
and
basically, it was cool because like right before she passes out or like she glitches out, Sheriff Monetta's like basically like saying like your life's gonna be over, like everything that you've worked hard for in your entire life is like gone.
It's like your singing career's over, like Beyonce
and, like,
no
it's, like,
more.
Yeah, and it's like echoing in like her like soul. So she starts sketching out, and then that's what like kind of triggers her seizure, I guess.
So like everybody's just having like stress seizures essentially.
So I'm definitely gonna put it out here, JLAG, and I'm gonna say I feel like they're taking Adderall. And I feel like the Adderall is like affecting them in a weird way because
so everyone's on drugs.
No, not everyone. Definitely Betty because she's like freaking type A, like over here. And I think that Josie's probably the same way. I feel like Josie's probably so stressed out that she no longer has a girl band, and like she's probably like so stressed out over schoolwork but that I feel like she would take Adderall.
Like, do you think that that's enough of a reason to have a connection to everybody? Like, that's what Betty's going to not realize is happening. She's just going to be like,
know.
We're not on this. We're all on the same meds. That must be the reason why we're all freaking having seizures.
I don't know.
Guys, I don't understand what this whole seizure connection is, and it's really pissing me off because if it's supernatural and we were told by the cast that it's not a supernatural storyline, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
That's
if it's
the thing,
really
right? Like, I feel like they're leading us down this really like supernatural path, but then they're gonna be like, actually, no, it's not that at all. It's just like everyone's on Adderall.
Right,
and that's it.
so the only one and only other theory that I have is Evelyn Evernever, which I want to talk about really quickly because it cuts to her a few times in this classroom sequence. And how are we all forgetting about the fact that Evelyn, like, she's in this classroom and she's sketchy as fuck? Like, how is Betty? How's Betty not booking her?
I know. I feel like, and she did give her a look too. She was like, but
yeah,
I almost feel like they're cutting to her to make you feel like she's sketch, and I feel like they're not going to be sketch.
Well, here's the frustration, right? Betty doesn't even for 1 second in this whole episode go back to Evelyn to be like, she might be sketchy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like for all we know, like maybe Evelyn is drugging everybody. Like maybe that is the situation and I could totally buy that. These guys taking drugs and then having seizures, I don't understand. But like if they're suddenly like doing some sort of like fentanyl style like powder that's being inhaled around them and like they start to have seizures, I totally will get it if like Evelyn's the one that's like blowing dust in everybody's face.
But maybe
like
she's I don't know. Anyways, yeah.
But if that's not the case, like why do they keep cutting back to her? She's obviously fucking sketchy. Like Betty, get together and like go back to her real quick.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that's the thing. I don't know if she's sketchy. I don't know if I agree with that because I feel like they're making you feel like she is, and then she's not gonna be that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if they're making her sketchy and like you're supposed to feel that way, they still don't follow that storyline. So like, what are you supposed to feel other than
I guess
she's
just
sketchy?
Like you're asking questions.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know.
It's just like
guys, let us know. Do you guys think Evelyn Evernever is a psychopath and she's killing everybody? So then it cuts to a really cute moment with Betty and Jugs, and it seems like they keep forcing them to kiss each other. Do you notice this?
You know what's so funny? I thought the exact same thing when he like kissed her forehead at the end. I was like, okay, like chill. Like I feel like you guys are making everyone like squirt over here. Like,
like I love them together. Don't get me wrong. I love Cole Sprouse and Lily Reinhart, like real life, like relationship, whatever. But literally every 5 seconds, they're like, oh my god, you saw this murder, I saw this murder, love ya, kisses. Like every single second they're together, they have like a quick bughead moment, which is cute, but like it's a bit of an overkill. Anyways, so
I love that we've hated on everything so far and we're still shitting on the ships. Like,
I can't,
like you don't even stop, homie.
Guys, ain't nobody safe. Ain't nobody safe.
No.
So then she's talking to Jugs and she says that I'm gonna use the speakeasy to try to get everybody to like all the parents together because I found out that the warden was the RROTC like freaking cadet guy during the time that our parents were at school. So he knew them.
So does that make him like the same age?
No, I think that like the R or whatever, like I think they're supposed to be a little bit older.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I was like, he legit looks like a grandpa. Like he's not the same age as the parents.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be a little bit older.
Okay,
but like that's the thing.
Sense.
She's like, they're all sketchy because they don't know him. I'm like, I didn't know any grown-ups in my high school. Like, frick. Like how would you know that they're being sketchy?
Yeah.
So then that's her mission kind of this episode. She's like, I'm gonna use a speakeasy and see if I can like grill everybody.
Yeah.
And then Jughead.
Like, why the speakeasy? Why couldn't it just be Pops?
Guys, we're gonna talk about that in a second too. So then Jughead's mission this episode is to find Joaquin. He's like, I'm gonna find this guy and we're gonna see what's going on. So then it cuts to the bunker and Kevin, I guess, is not in school today. Like he cut class.
He's just floating around, which he usually just does anyway.
Which is like the typical storyline for Kevin.
Yeah.
So he's taking care of Archie at the bunker and he realizes that Archie is infected. So he's like,
so can I just break this scene down from the way that I was watching it? So here's Kevin and Archie. And by the way, I did love the dynamic together with them, like the whole episode. I thought they were really cute together.
I was into it.
But in this moment, Archie's like, oh, my wound. And Kevin's like, oh, shit, like that looks infected. And I'm like, ooh. Yeah. I'm like, Kevin knows first aid. Kevin's going to heal him. Kevin can see like how bad like scars are. Kevin's going to be the hero. No. Because he doesn't do any of that. He's like, that looks really bad, actually. You know what, Archie? Let me call Betty, actually, and see what she would do because I can't make my own decision. It's like, I was like, what? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Kevin, I thought you were going to have a hero moment.
Yeah, he still can't come through. And even in this episode, he just kind of like follows Archie around.
Yeah, it was
like
cute.
Make sure that he doesn't get into trouble.
Yeah, it was cute.
Still, like,
I thought for sure like they'd give him this one freaking thing that he would know first aid. And one of our like listeners, Tina, she said too, she made a good point. She's like, if he's in the RROTC, like he would know first aid more than anyone.
Yeah. And you'd think that they have a med kit down there anyway, so like he should be fine. They don't have to go to the coroner's office and spend so much cash like to freaking heal up this guy.
So anyway, sorry, that was a side story.
Just like an excuse to get him out of the freaking place. So then it cuts back to the speakeasy and Betty like pulls off this crazy ass freaking ploy and sends invitations to all of the parents from the Gargoyle King. And she's like, someone in this room is a murderer, and it's all the parents basically all the time. Like the
amount of savageness she's throwing into the room. Like I'm surprised she's not getting punched in the face.
Yeah, literally, like, if I was Alice, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. I can't even talk to
my mom like that, let alone, like, 8 other adults that I don't even know. She's like, I know one of you is a killer. You better tell me who's the killer.
It was kind of killing me, too, low-key, because, like, Hiram was like, he was the only parent who was like, fuck this.
Yeah, Hiram was like, so over it.
He was like, I'm not saying shit to you. You're a child. Get me out of here. But yeah, so essentially she starts to grill like every single parent, and everyone has kind of something to say except for Hiram. Hiram's like, fuck this, I'm not doing this right now. FP does admit the fact that he may or may not have seen the Gargoyle King that night, and Alice is like, but you never told me that shit when we were having sex. Like, you'd think that these fucking people would talk about something other than the fact that like this one secret that they've been holding all this time, like it seems like it squashes so fast in the future. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody want to talk about this at all. So it must have been a serious situation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like they don't want to talk about it, right? Like that's the whole thing.
The one question that I have too, though, is like, why is Betty still on the tip that it could be one of the parents when Jughead literally told her it might not be one of the parents?
I don't know.
He was like, no, this is larger than just the parents. Like, it could be someone else. And she was like, nope, it's definitely the parents. So anyway, so then Hermione like basically stands up and throws so much shade at Penelope Blossom. And she was like, so I'm pretty sure it's Penelope because she's the one that knew how to like do she that knows night.
Poison. Yeah.
Right. And so Penelope was like, actually it was Daryl Doyley. He wanted us to ascend together, and
he was in love with me. Like he wanted to be together. I was like, what? Did you believe her?
So, for like I said, I was naive this episode, so I totally believed her. I was totally into it. I was like, it's a random storyline, but at the same time, like, okay, fine. Like, what? Like, to me, it wasn't like he's the Gargoyle King, but for me, I was like, okay, like he tried to kill someone and then he killed himself.
Yeah.
Like he's so inconsequential because he dies, right? Like they say, like, oh yeah, then he killed himself after
he killed himself in the garage. How funny, JLAG, was it that today we were just talking about this, and I was like, so me and JLAG were just talking whatever before, and like JLAG was trying to tell me something, and I was like, wait, what happened? I'm like, oh, he's dead already, and then JLAG's like, no, he's not dead. Like, sure enough, like he's dead.
It's because in that picture from it's because in that picture it says like, here lies Daryl Doyley. I'm like, did Daryl die? Like how did that even happen? Like I guess they're gonna have to explain that. So
according to Penelope, he kills himself like in his garage.
Yeah, after she like denies him.
After
being, like,
she like
crazy.
blocks him. Yeah.
She blocks him on Instagram. So then, but you're right. Betty's face is so confused in this part because she's like, this is bullshit, man. Like, what the hell is going on? And yeah, and everyone's just kind of cheese. Like, even FP's like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, are you guys still playing the game? And Betty kind of spills the tea and says that Jughead is still playing the game. And of course, FP's like ready to fucking kill somebody.
Yeah, FP's like, that boy, I'm gonna kill him.
He's like, boy. So he's pissed off. And then, yeah, Sierra's basically like, my daughter's in fucking the hospital because she just had to like, get me out of here. This is so bullshit. So everybody kind of just fucks off. And I'm like, but no one is being stopped by Betty because Alice is like, at the very end, Alice is like, are you happy now? Did you get your answers? And Betty's like, nope, I didn't. I'm just going to keep digging. I'm like, so what was the purpose of you forcing them all to stay there if you didn't get the answer you wanted? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, it was
anyway,
weird.
Whatever. So then it cuts back to the trailer, and this is like the most random part of the entire episode. FP, like Jughead is about to leave because he hears that there's a lead on where Joaquin could be, and FP stops him and literally fucking handcuffs him to the fridge.
Yeah, it was so like, random.
What a random fucking moment. I don't get, like, I understand that FP just doesn't know how to be a dad. Like, clearly he doesn't understand how that works at all. Yeah. But I just don't understand why you thought that was like what you would do to your son. Like, he's trailer trash, but like, I don't think that they even do that in trailers. Like,
yeah, it was so weird.
It's pretty crazy to see like FP and like, you know,
and also I was like, where did you get the handcuffs from? I was like, were you else using that shit just before? Like, where did you get that from?
It's so extra. But like, that's what I mean. Like, you shit Phallus so much, but then you see him like be such a bad father to Jughead. Like, I don't know what to say, but like, I would never, like, worst dad ever. I don't understand why you would just like handcuff him to the fridge and leave the house. Like, he didn't even
just like leaves him there. Yeah,
he just leaves him. He didn't like make sure that he was like, do you need to go to the bathroom? Do you need to go pee? Like, nothing. He just like left him.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's just like stuck there for a second, and then it cuts back to the coroner's office, and Archie and Kevin are there, and Archie's basically like, well, Kevin's like, okay, you're healed up now, like, let's go back to the bunker. And Archie's like, no, I'm gonna go now, like, I'm gonna leave. And fucking Kevin's like, shit.
He's like, fuck, what am I gonna do?
He's like, this is like literally the one thing that I was supposed to do right, and he didn't do it right. And Archie's like, I need to find out where, like, I need to find these mines, and I need to find these guys because they must be hiding.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to the lodge residence, and Veronica's like on her bed, just like chilling
Veronica's
out.
like full in my notes. This is what I wrote. Veronica is Kathleen Zellner right now. Like, she is the girl from Making a Murderer. She's like going through all the evidence. But like, so why now? Like, girl, your boyfriend's been away for months. Why are you just now looking at that like footage? Like, where was it?
This is the one time, the one moment. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So anyway, whatever. So she's just kind of chilling. She sees a security footage and she realizes that one of the interviews was edited because the coffee cup like goes from like full to empty. I'm like, do you think they're that fucking stupid that they would make sure that like, that was,
I mean,
like, delete the entire fucking thing? Anyway, whatever. I'm running with it because like there's crazier things that have happened in the show, but I really thought that was the dumbest discovery ever.
She's like, OMG, that was a jump cut. That wasn't supposed to be there.
And like, she's like, I got evidence. I'm gonna go find this like secret clip, whatever. Hiram sees her
so wait,
going
how
through
come
the case files.
My question is, why did she have to find a next clip?
Because like she needs to know.
She wants to find the original clip.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she's just realizing in that moment. But that's what I'm saying. Sierra fucking McCoy, Mary fucking Andrews, Betty
Like,
Dan Cooper.
seriously.
None of them could come together during the summer that they had to get him acquitted and realize that somebody was tampering with evidence.
Yeah.
Like nobody.
It's
like
so-
you're telling
it's
me,
so stupid.
Veronica, after she broke her man out of jail, like it's just really stupid timing for them to. Because I was down for it. Trust me, like I was into like her finding evidence, but
Yeah.
it just came at a really stupid time. I'm like, where were you, girl?
And
this
that was
whole
my
time?
whole question with this episode. Even just like when it finished, I was just like, but why did we need the whole prison break scene? Like,
Anyway, I don't want to talk. I don't want to go back there. Please don't make me go back
but
there.
like
I'm
because
done.
this just made more sense than all of that. Do you know what I
For
mean? Like her
sure,
finding
for
evidence.
sure.
Like, I don't know. I can't. Yeah,
They're just
you're right. I can't
extending
get
it to
into
22 episodes, guys. Like, let's just be real at this point. Like,
Seriously.
So then Hiram kind of like low-key sees her go through the footage, and so as she kicks him out of the room, he makes a phone call and he's like, we got to get rid of the people at Shadow Lake because like we got to like tie up those loose ends.
Yeah.
So clearly he's gonna like go and like get them.
Did you notice his freaking painting on the wall?
Yeah, it's him now, right?
Yeah, it's him. It's such a
like
funny
so.
photo.
He's like, it's me now. I am the one.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to the trailer, and Betty just like I guess finds Jughead like in the trailer, being like, "Hey," because his phone is like to the side, so I don't know how she got in and realized that he was tied up. Like that's the thing; they spend so much time doing all these random fucking storylines, but they can't give me the reason why and how Betty got into the trailer. Like I don't get it.
I guess it's unlocked, maybe. Like they don't even lock their doors.
They don't even lock their doors. I don't know. Whatever.
Anyways.
So she like uses her bobby pin and gets him unlocked, and Jughead just says like we're getting closer. Clearly, our parents are lying to us. Whatever. Then it cuts back to Kevin and Archie, and they're leaving the coroner's office because he's all healed up or whatever. And Veronica calls, and she's like, "What the f, Kevin? Like you're supposed to keep him safe. Like now he's gone." And so Archie talks to her, and he's like, "Don't worry, girl. I'm gonna go to the mines because that's like where they probably are. I need to get there first and see if I can talk to these guys." Like, I don't even know what his game plan was gonna be if he didn't find them dead. Like, it was gonna be like,
what was he
"Yo,
supposed
guys,
to do?
like, can you please like help a brother out?" Like, what was he going to do?
I don't know.
He could have just called the I guess the police are corrupt.
No,
like,
he
that's
can't call the
Minetta.
police, but even still, like you're saying, like he can go there, he can see the guys, and then what? Like, what is he supposed to say to them? Like, help
There's just
me out?
like no purpose to anything.
I don't know.
So anyway, whatever. So he's like, I'm gonna go to the Shadow Lake mines, which I'm assuming is like pretty far away. Like I feel like it's hours away, but whatever. So then Veronica is like, okay, don't worry about it. I'm actually gonna try to get you acquitted. So sit tight. Like go back to the bunker whenever you're done.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna look at my mom's office, like, because that's probably where it would have been.
Right.
It didn't really. That's the thing. Like, I know Veronica's smart, but like, they make these connections that like the audience would have never made. Like, oh, where did he put the footage? Oh, it must be on the mom's computer. Like, how did she make that connection?
And I was confused. I thought at first it was Hiram's computer.
Right.
Because I'm like,
it's
why
probably
would
the same set?
the mayor have that? Like,
yeah. Anyway, so he like put this file on, but anyway, it cuts back to Kevin and Archie in the woods, and there's a quick shot of them seeing Sheriff Minetta walking into the woods. So you're already like, okay, well, shit's gonna go down. And then it cuts back to the mayor's office, and of course, Veronica / Monica finds the file.
Yeah.
And it's
let
actually
me just quickly like break down the fact that Hermione's desktop is anxiety central for me. It was like covered in icons.
I can't with
How
you.
does she work
You're
like
so
that?
She's the fucking.
It's insane. There was
like,
no
yeah.
room to even see the wallpaper. It was just like all like folders.
It's true. So anyway, so she finds this file folder that has like the icon of the sacrifice on it.
Yeah, from the game. Yeah.
And she opens it up, and she finds the file. Like, sure enough, it's just like literally sitting right there. You're telling me like it's not even password protected?
No,
it's just,
exactly.
Like, sitting
like
right
I
on
was
the
writing,
desktop.
I was like, why wouldn't it be hidden in like secret folders? Like, it's literally sitting on the desktop.
I honestly
so
really do
stupid.
hope and feel that like this is all being set up and planned by somebody.
Yeah.
Because like, why would it happen this way otherwise? You
It's
know,
true.
it's
true.
Because it's almost too good to be true the way it's all kind of being put together. So she sends it to Monica Posh, which was obviously already like in her mom's email. Did you notice that too? Like she started to type in Monica Posh,
and Monica Posh came up.
It was like auto-filled into like the email.
Jokes.
Anyway,
that's so funny. Yeah.
So, but also like maybe that's a clue. Like maybe that means that somebody already knew that Monica Posh is like a real person and she was gonna do it.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Anyway, we'll see. So as she's about to upload the file, like there's a little bit of high stakes where an actual officer comes into the office and says, you can't be here, we have to arrest you. So they arrest her. It was a kind of a funny moment because she was like, you don't have to put me in handcuffs.
It totally makes sense now what you're saying. It totally feels like a setup.
Right. But at the same time, if that means that Archie gets to get away, like then why? If the point of him was to be in jail, then why is he in jail? I don't know, guys. Is Mary the fucking
maybe like Hiram wants to sort of like empower her. Like,
but why? I don't get it. Like, why are they playing this stupid game between the two of them? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So then it cuts to Jughead and Sweet Pea and Fangs, and they find Joaquin. Like, they somehow capture him in the woods. And Jughead just gets really cheesy. He's like, how the hell? Like, why the fuck did you shiv Archie? Like, you were supposed to protect him. And he essentially just spills all the tea, saying that, like, the guy was playing the game and it was my only way to survive. And somebody wanted Archie dead from the beginning. Like, it was already all set up. And he asked like what the symbol meant, and he's like, oh, it means sacrifice. Like that's what he was pegged as being like the sacrifice. And Joaquin's like, I'm sorry. And it's a stupid moment because he says like to Joaquin, he's like, well, I can't let you leave now. But then like cut to like 2 moments later and he's fucking dead. I'm like, clearly you guys did let him go because now he's gone. So then it cuts to Hiram's office, and Jughead basically
he just like storms
him and says, yeah, so he's like, well, what, like, are you the Gargoyle King? And Hiram has like a pretty funny moment with him where he's like, you're crazy, like obviously I'm not the Gargoyle King, I'm not a 16-year-old nerd, like it's not me. And then he starts to point out everybody else. He's like, look at all the other parents. He's like, why don't you ask like if it was Clifford Blossom?
Yeah, he's like basically like dad. I'm the best daddy in the town. He's like everyone else's daddy is a killer. So he's like, I'm pretty good. He's like, I just steal people's money.
Yeah, exactly. And commit like a million crimes. So he dismisses him. He like makes him leave. And that's the thing that kind of killed me too, is like, why is he even entertaining this conversation with Jughead if he's gonna just deny him anyway?
He
why did he
did
even
say,
invite
like,
him into the office?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I don't get it. Also, like, I just realized this now. Is Hiram working from home? Like, does he have
I feel like he's always worked from home. He has that ability to do that.
Damn. Good job. I wish I could do that. So then he has to take a phone call, and then it, like, of course he like gets a phone call from jail saying that Veronica is in jail. So like this shit is so whack. Like I don't understand why you were fighting with your daughter so much that now she has like a criminal record. Like I don't
take that in.
I don't know why you guys are letting all this happen.
Oh my god.
So anyway, so she has like a quick moment with him where they're like fighting back and forth, and she was like, I want a phone call. I want to call the lawyer. So then she ends up calling Fred instead, and she's like, yo, don't worry. So basically Fred has been in the dark this entire time.
So Fred has no idea that his son has now escaped prison. And not only does she fill him in over the phone that like Archie's out, I was like, girl, like, you know that they like basically track these phone calls, right? Like they could probably hear you talking about where Archie is.
Yeah. Well, she even says, she's like, he's in the bunker, don't worry about it.
Yeah. I'm like, you're so stupid.
Anyway, whatever. So she says like, don't worry, I have she's like, tell Archie if you get to talk to him that I have everything that you need. Like, he needs to get out. Like, we're good. We're almost ready to go. And so then it cuts to the
Fred's
corner
like,
office.
what are you talking about? Like, Fred has no idea what's going on.
He's so lost. He's so confused because even though in the beginning of the season he was like, me and all the daddies are going to get him out of jail. Like, he didn't do shit all this whole season. So then it cuts back to the coroner's office and Betty's there because she was kind of investigating Daryl Doyley's death, and then it turns out that he wasn't killed with exhaust from the car the way that everything was reported. He actually died through like a flower, the white oleander, which is poison. And I wrote down here, obviously it's Penelope who did it, and but I don't even know anymore. Yes. So then she asks who the sheriff was. She was like, so who was the sheriff at this point in time that was trying to cover this damn thing up? So then it cuts to Pop's Diner and she's talking to Tom Keller. Poor Tom Keller. Daddy Keller is being like under fire every damn season now. It's like,
when's
are you the
his
Black
wedding?
Hood? Are you the Gargoyle
When are
King?
you getting married? Like, I want to know that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, I just want to know the prenup situation. Real talk.
She got all the money.
Yeah, she got all that shmoney. So he even says it. He's like, why are you grilling me again? Like season 3, like you already came for me last season. Seriously. What the hell? So he says, he's like, it was obviously freaking Penelope. Like she has a literal greenhouse with oleander in it. It must have been her. Why don't you like just like look her up? So then Betty's like, okay, cool. I'll go look up that later in next scene. So then it cuts back to Archie and Kev. And they find the mines. They like go into the mines, and it's really creepy because they see all these images of the Gargoyle King inside the mines. Yeah. And once they get to the end of the mines, they realize that all of the kids are dead. Like everybody's dead, except for one of them who's like bleeding out really hard. Right. So then they're like, I gotta go to the let's take him to the hospital. Like whatever.
Yeah, Archie's like, let's go. And Kevin's like, people are looking for you, dumbass. You can't go anywhere. Like near like public spaces.
So then Archie's like, I don't fuck.
He's like, that's exactly where I'm gonna go.
He's like, I'm gonna go right to the open. So, and that's the thing too. I'm so shocked that he didn't get booked one time this whole episode.
Yeah, like you're right. Like they didn't even have a moment where like somebody looks at him like weird to be like, wait, is that kid that's like everyone's looking for? Yeah, it's so true.
I guess.
Like you call this episode Manhunter, and like literally no one was hunting him down.
Like no one was hunting him at all. Like at all. It's just, anyway, it's just fucking weird. So then it cuts to Jug, Sweet Pea, and Fangs, and they're back at, like, I guess the headquarters. And Joaquin's body is just, like, turns up, and he's dead now. And he has the sacrifice, like, symbol, like, etched on his forehead. So R.I.P., like...
So R.I.P.
Like, Joaquin?
Joaquin, yeah.
But also, like, what did you think of this whole moment? Like, what the fuck is happening? Why?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to think of it. I don't know who killed him. I don't know.
I mean, obviously, we know who killed him. It was, like, the Gargoyle King gang or whatever. But
okay, so you think it's a gang of people?
Yeah, 100% it's a gang of people because we saw them around the fire.
Right.
But the thing that is really frustrating to me is, number one, why didn't they protect him after he gave him all that information? Why couldn't they be like, okay, Joaquin, like, do you want to be part of the Serpents again? Like, do you want to like hang out with Sweet Pea and Fangs for like the whole day? Like, no, they just like literally let him go and then he dies. And then number two, like, Kevin and Joaquin are never going to get their storyline, and it's pissing me off.
No,
like
they were done for sure.
Like, they never even got an opportunity to even bring that back around. Like, Kevin saw him. Like, what was the point of even Kevin seeing him in that, like, last episode? Like, for him to just be like, I found a new gang. Bye. Like, he just left. Like, it was so pointless.
I can't even, point at their mistakes at this point.
Yeah,
like, I
honestly.
can't even. Like, it's just, there's too many holes where I'm like, but why?
Yeah. And guys, I'm going to say this one more time, and I'm probably going to say it until this whole thing is resolved. But if this whole Gargoyle King storyline does not come to a perfect little bow and like make sense, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
I know.
I'm going to be pissed so much. So anyway, Jughead in that moment was like, oh shit, I got to go find Archie because like maybe he's in danger. So then it cuts to Tom and Fred at the mines. And of course, they're like 2 seconds late and all the bodies are there, so they call them in, and then they find out that someone brought one of the bodies to the hospital. So
yeah.
like Fred is like, oh shit, I gotta go. But like Fred just looks like depressed. Poor Fred, man.
Like, yeah, I felt so bad for him because like
felt so freaking bad for him.
I guess they think that like one of the bodies could be either like Kevin or Archie,
right?
Or just Archie maybe. And yeah, like Fred just like he just like looks into like the darkness and he just like stands there. Like he looked so sad.
He's so sad. So then it cuts back to the hospital and Archie and Kevin are chilling and Kevin's like, well, the guy's dead. So like
yeah.
they didn't even give him a moment. Like they're just
he's like
yep,
Archie,
he's dead.
He bled out. So like he's dead now.
Yeah.
So Archie's like, oh man. He's like, everyone keeps dying.
Yeah, and that was this was his whole moment this episode was him saying like everywhere I go leads to death. Like he has so much guilt on his back right now that he like
I guess
can't even face himself, which I understand, but at the same time like that's the point of this whole situation is like you're supposed to lean on your friends.
Things are different at this point because I understand where his guilt is coming from and also he's still a fugitive. So I understand where his mindset is at this point, but later when his girlfriend tells him that he's off the hook, it's a whole different scenario.
Anyway, let's just get there. There's too many things happening right now. So he even says in this moment too, he's like, I don't even think I could ever go back to Riverdale because of like all the shit that's been going down. So then it cuts back to Veronica and Sierra at jail. Sierra like bails her out.
Yeah.
And Veronica's like, so hey girl, she's like, how's like Josie doing? And Sierra's like, she's fine, what the fuck do you want? So Veronica's basically like, so if I had evidence of coercion, like would that be enough to get somebody out of jail? The answer is no in real life,
probably
but yes
not.
In Riverdale.
Yeah.
Like absolutely in Riverdale, and it's very expedited clearly because it happens so fast.
Oh yeah.
So then it cuts back to the speakeasy. And the question that I had really quickly before we get into the scene is Betty and Penelope are in the speakeasy. Why is the speakeasy suddenly becoming like a point of interest for these interrogations?
And that's what I mean. It's like, why don't you sit upstairs at Pop's? Like, why are you in the basement of like the speakeasy?
You know what it is? I really think it's just like the Riverdale set designers were like, we made this fucking bar.
Yeah,
so
you better
it's
fucking
gonna be
used.
Yeah. We use that shit every damn episode.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
It's so true.
So anyway, she's talking to Penelope and Penelope's like doing the same thing kind of that like Cheryl does to Betty where she's like, you're my cousin. So Penelope's like,
we're related.
I'm your auntie.
Yeah. Call me auntie.
So Betty just like straight off the top asks her if she was responsible for the death of Daryl, and Penelope's like, obviously I wouldn't even use oleander. Are you crazy? It leaves traces. Like I'm like, and Betty's like, well, I didn't know that, but thanks.
Yeah.
So Penelope, but the question that I had too was like, how did Penelope even like come back, and why did she even bother coming back?
Why even meet with the 16-year-old girl? Number one. Number two, it's just funny how all the parents are just deflecting to each other. Like even how Tom just quickly says like, oh, go see Penelope, like it's probably her. And then like the second that Penelope like is talking to Betty, she's like, go talk to your mom. She knows everything. Like she was the writer of the town's paper. Like she would know. Like I don't know if they're all guilty and that's why they're all deflecting to one another, or there's something bigger that they're covering up.
If we don't get another flashback episode where it's like an I know what you did last summer situation where they all are guilty of killing somebody, then I'm gonna that would actually be really good. I'd be down for that. So then it cuts to the Cooper residence, and there's suddenly a storm in Riverdale. Like we've never seen a storm this harsh ever.
Yeah.
Like the lights were flashing. Like it was just like some crazy ass storm coming through. And I guess it's trying to set the mood, but essentially they're like just like talking, like her and Alice, Betty and Alice are talking in the kitchen. And she was like, why are you protecting each other? Like something's wrong here. You guys are obviously guilty of this. And she hears knocking on the door. So then they go to the front door, but they open it up and nobody's there.
Yeah.
And sure enough, like in that moment, you see someone kind of like lurking in the back windows. And I was like, oh shit, here we go. So then as they turn around, they see like the freaking Gargoyle King just like having tea in their living room. Like what the fuck is happening? So he's like, and like the lights go crazy. What did you think of this whole situation?
I loved it. I love the whole sequence. I think it was so horror, and they did such a good job with it. I just didn't understand what was going on. I just didn't understand. I was like, who the hell is the Gargoyle King? Like,
yeah. And why didn't anybody like charge him? Like, can someone just go and like attack this guy?
I guess like they're terrified of him.
Yeah, I guess.
I did love the whole Scream like reference there. Like,
just shout out
yeah.
to Scream references this whole
like
episode.
As soon as they cut to the popcorn, because at first I'm like, what the F's going on? And then they cut to the popcorn. I'm like, oh my God, it's like a Scream scenario. And like before I can even like say it, you see freaking FP coming through the window.
Yeah, I was so into it. I'm like, I was dying. I was so into it. Yeah. So like the popcorn scene, and then we have FP coming through the window. I was like, this is the best thing ever. Yeah. Which makes me believe, do you think that FP could be responsible for this?
I mean, look, I think anything can be possible. But like you said, I want it to all make sense. Like, if they can wrap this up and make it all make sense as to, like, it's FP. I don't know how the F it would be FP, though. I'm down. But that's not going to make sense.
Yeah, it's not going to make sense. And, like, why would he do it? Why would he put his, like, family in danger? Why would he put Jughead in danger? But, I mean, he was a killer in Scream, so it kind of just, like, made me connect all those things together.
Yeah.
I mean, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen Scream, one of the best freaking horror films ever. So, So anyway, whatever. He hugs Alice because Alice is freaking out. But then, when they get into Betty's room, they also see like the gravestone of Daryl Doyley, and his name's crossed out, and Alice and Betty's names are are etched into it. So obviously, somebody's going after them and like totally fucking with them. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, the damn poor Cooper residents like just can't get a freaking break.
I definitely think like it's a prank and not supernatural at all.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
especially
if this
with
is becoming
Scream, like Scream was like all that, right?
Yeah, it was like pranks and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then it cuts back to the hospital, and Tom and Fred show up, and they're like, "Where's Archie?" And he's like, "Well, he's safe, but he ain't here no more. He left you a." It's like he left you a note, though. So guys.
I literally wrote in my notes. I was like, so tight. Like you can't even say bye to your dad.
He couldn't even wait to say bye to his dad. Like, that's so unfair.
Yeah, it was
and
sad.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, you would rather gallivant all around the city to do God knows what with freaking Kevin this whole time, and you can't even in one moment turn around and be like, I miss my dad. I want to see him.
I know.
You haven't seen him for so long. Like, no one would ever do that. Like, just because you don't want to hurt him how? Like, it doesn't matter. You're putting everybody in danger already. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, so he leaves him, and then Fred like gets his note. A part of me wanted him to be like reading the voiceover. Like,
me too.
I was like, I'm down for like some melodramatic shit right now.
You know I had to leave because like it's so extra.
It would have been like something like that.
But you know I love you.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I would have said. So then it comes back to the lodge residence, and Veronica walks in, and she's like, "Oh, hey, bitches."
She's like, "I'm here for dinner." And then Hiram's like, "Well, someone let you out of the cage." And then Hermione's just sitting there like, I have no idea what happened to my family. She's so effing overworked. This poor woman, she's working too much. Like, she's like neglecting her family.
She can't even check in on her own fucking daughter. She only has one damn daughter, and she can't even check in on her.
Your daughter was missing all night, homie. Where do you think she was?
She was literally in the worst place possible. She was in jail, and you didn't even know. And like, you're the mayor of the damn town. You didn't know that she was in jail? Give me a break.
Seriously.
So anyway. And then Hiram is like, hey, I put her in jail. Like, it's just so whack. So Hiram's just like sitting there, and Hermione's just like having a drink with him. And Veronica's like, don't worry about it. Your man Minetta is about to go down because I got that information of the evidence. And he like looks like bummed out. But like, guys, I am over the fact that these guys are playing chess or whatever together, like as a family. It's really annoying.
For sure, he set it up, for sure.
Do you think so? Like, now that we've talked about it a little bit more?
I feel like it was too easy. It was all so freaking easy.
But I said, my question is why? If he just wants to get rid of Archie, why couldn't he just get rid of him?
I feel like in the end, if Hiram is meant to stick around in the show, they have to make him good for something. They can't make him completely evil. So I feel like at some point his motives might be to make Veronica happier or make her stronger or make her see like who she really is. So like I feel like his intentions maybe are a part of that. And so he might still help her in some way. I don't know. I can't believe that he's like completely evil either, you know?
Yeah, I don't get it. So then it cuts to the Cooperez, and Alice basically says like, this house is not safe anymore. I'm going to go to the farm. And Betty says, well, fuck that shit. I'm not going to the farm either. And she's like, I knew that you would be resistant to this. Edward said that you'd be resistant. And then all you see in the background are these people from freaking Quiet Mercy, like
so
taking her
up.
away.
It was so fucked up.
I was like, and she was like, Mom, what are you doing? And she was like, this is for your own good. It'll protect you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the F is happening? This is psychotic. I can't believe you're sending her to freaking Sisters of Quiet Mercy.
Yeah, legit. It was so psycho.
She thinks that what she's doing is right, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, and I guess it kind of makes sense because the house is obviously, but just get like a better, like, go to ADT or like get a better alarm system. Like,
just move. Go stay in a hotel for a little bit.
Like, this is your solution to like send people off to like random ass places. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So then it cuts back to Veronica at the Speakeasy, and this girl was so damn happy. Like, she literally spent the rest of the evening setting up a full welcome home party in the Speakeasy for Archie. And I was like, I low-key felt bad for her, but at the same time, I was like, you're an idiot.
First of all, Veronica, you're like 4 months way too late. Like,
yeah. Like, get that evidence from time,
seriously.
bitch. So anyway, so she gets a phone call from Kevin, Kevin's there.
He comes,
and she was like,
he
you
shows
idiot. Up. And she's like, you idiot, you lost my boyfriend. And he's like, sorry about it, but like he literally just wanted to leave. And so Archie calls her, and she's like, yo, you're a free man, like, aren't you excited? And he was like, yeah, that's cool. He's like, so I'm gonna leave now. And she's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And it is a really sad moment for Archie.
It is.
But also it's kind of stupid because you're a free man now.
And
why
that's
are
the
you
thing, right? Like, when you have these types of moments, you wanna feel so much for these characters. Like, I wanted to cry so much. I wanted to feel it, but I couldn't because I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, she's literally telling him like, bro, you're free now. Like, you're good to go. Like, we got you out. And he's like, nah, I'm gonna run. Like it's just, like, it sounded so stupid. Whereas, like, if they had done it in a way where, like, he left earlier and then she solved it, but she couldn't, like, tell him, like, that would be so tragic, right? But no.
That would be more tragic.
Yeah. This idiot has all the information and, like, literally, like, he's good to go. And he's still like, no,
he's like,
I'm good.
Nope. He's like, nope, I'm good.
So
I'm just going to stay right here.
It just takes away that emotion from that scene because I'm just like, it doesn't make sense and it's kind of stupid.
You know what kills me too? Because I'm not going to lie. KJ Appa's face didn't even look like he believed it as a character.
Yeah.
He was like, why am I doing this right now? He's like, this is really dumb. He's like, Archie's pretty stupid, but this is really stupid.
Yeah.
So anyway, whatever. They both have a crying moment. And she, like, it is, I guess, as sad as it can get for, like, a fake sad moment. Because Veronica's like, I can't believe you're, like, leaving me right now. And he's like, sorry. Thank you so much for everything you've ever done for me. Like, even when she says, like, you're a free man now. He's like, of course you're the one that got me out of jail. You're the one that's, like, so helpful to me. But I'm going to leave anyway. Like, what the But he does kind of low-key make a good point. Like, you know, it's true. Hiram's going to keep coming after him and it's not going to stop. But I don't think that this is the particular solution.
Well, and I think he's right. I think there is heat on him right now. So, like, that's the thing. If he had just said, hey, you know what, boo? Like, I'll be back in, like, 4 months. Like, just, like, wait for me or something like that. But, like, the man's literally saying, like, thank you for everything. It was nice knowing you. Like, you were it for me. Goodbye. Like, it's not goodbye. Like, you're probably going to come back. Like, stop being so freaking dramatic. Just be like, I need to go for a little bit. I can't call you, but, like, see you in 6 months kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. It just, anyway, whatever. Guys, we're just going to run with it. So,
the best part was, she's like, don't say bye to me. He's like, okay. And then, like, she kind of like hangs up, not really, but then he like hangs up and then he says bye to like the payphone. He's like, goodbye, Veronica.
He's like, farewell, Veronica.
I was like, why are you talking to the phone?
I can't with this. So then it like pans out and Jughead is there with him and he's sending him off like Walking Dead styles. They're walking on the train tracks and they're gonna like head off to God knows where. Well, we know what happens because we watched the freaking trailer and we spoiled it for ourselves. We know exactly.
Well,
where
they
they're going.
spoiled
They're
it for
ending up
us because they leaked that promo.
Yeah. So he ends off with him. And like the question that I had was like, why did Jughead think that this was a good opportunity for him to leave too? Like, did he actually agree with him and say like, yes, Hiram is so dangerous that you have to go? Like, how is that his only option?
I don't know.
Anyway.
It's Archie.
So it's Archie. So then it cuts back to Betty at the Sisters of Quiet Mercy, and she's just like trying to take it all in. She's like, this is crazy, but sure, I'm going to just like try to behave my best behavior. And they're saying like, don't worry, we're going to make you feel better. And
like, does
like,
Alice know that they do freaking like thing like electrotherapy,
like therapy and stuff?
Like, does she know
it's,
that?
Like, crazy. I don't know. And if she did, like, she's too delusional at this point to even make a difference. So yeah, so they send her to like an art class inside Quiet Mercy. And everyone's like just chilling and painting in there, and like you can hear in the background it's like the sister's like, don't worry, no one's ever gonna hurt you in here, and then it shows like everybody painting the Gargoyle King. So obviously some shit's going down. Yeah. And you said it in the promo when we reacted to it, like the fact that like maybe the Sisters of Quiet Mercy are also playing the game.
Maybe like one of like the head nurse or something, the head nun.
And after I saw this moment, I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. Like it makes sense to me. So anyway, guys, that was the freaking episode. Let's get into our recap roundups.
Recap roundups.
Best moment. I think my best moment is gonna be the VARCHIE goodbye, just because I felt like, I don't know, it was okay, and I wanted to see it. Like, I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
We knew it was gonna happen, and so I kind of just wanted to see how it was all gonna go down. Yeah,
for sure. My best moment is gonna go to Skeet Ulrich, aka FP, going through that window because I was so into it.
Yeah.
I was so excited to see it. I was like waiting for him to come through. I'm like, I'm the happiest.
I can't believe they waited that long to do that moment. But like, it all makes sense.
Made sense. Yeah. It only made sense this episode.
I mean, they did do it with Jughead in season 1 when he climbs through her window and everyone's like, oh my God, it's like a thing. So yeah, like kind of like that.
Well, that was more like Dawson's Creek. This was more like
Dawson's Creek. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
WTF moment.
What was your WTF moment?
My WTF moment, I think, is when Alice is like, I'm gonna send you away. I was like, what? Like, how did one thing go to that other thing? Like, how does that make sense? Like, you only have Betty. You don't even have your other freaking useless daughter. So, like, it's just you two. Why would you send her away? I was just really shocked. I was just like, I don't know. It's weird.
Definitely a WTF moment.
Yeah.
My WTF moment was Joaquin, like, turning up dead.
For sure.
Like, they kind of killed his character off so abruptly that I was very surprised, but at the same time I guess it makes sense. But also, why though? You know, like, there's a lot of why though moments in this episode.
It's definitely why though, but I understand that they had to kill him off because, like, I feel like they had to kill someone at this point in the whole season, you know what I mean? And so he was just like the one person to die.
But they've literally killed somebody off every single episode. Like, no, they don't need to kill everybody.
Like, remember how they were like,
mean?
Someone unexpected is gonna die this season. Like, do you think they meant Joaquin?
Maybe, I don't know.
It's kind of a letdown if that actually is the case.
Or is it Hiram? Like, at this point, like, anybody's game. Like, we'll see.
MVP.
Who's your MVP?
My MVP is gonna go to Betty Cooper because, you know, this girl definitely, she made shit happen this episode. I feel like she was on point. And I was like, should I give it to Veronica? But I felt like Veronica was being like a little extra too, because I felt like she was too late to the game on that. But yeah, I think Betty for sure is my MVP.
Agreed. Other than Betty, I'm gonna give my MVP to the Speakeasy for staying relevant this episode.
It came through. Yeah.
It literally came through, like, in 2 scenes that, like, I never thought I would ever see it again, and it just came through again. So good job. LVP. Who's your LVP?
I think my LVP is gonna go to Kevin. And it was hard with Kevin because I felt like I was so excited for him in this episode, and I loved his dynamic with Archie. I really did. but I still felt like he didn't add to anything. Like he was just there.
He falls short every time.
Do you know what I mean? Like he's
Every
just
time
there
he
with
falls
him.
short.
He's not really like
Yeah.
doing anything.
Yeah, I agree.
He didn't.
He's
He
just
could have
like-
even been like there to just be like, Archie, you know what? It's your last time seeing your dad. Like you should definitely hang around and like say bye to him.
Yeah.
Like give him one freaking line that can change everything, and they just don't do it. I don't know why.
He's always like just the passive messenger.
Yeah,
He was
he's
like,
just the
this
messenger.
is what I heard.
Yeah, that's it.
Like it's just not really like there's no point to having this character, and at this point like this Moose story, like love storyline, don't even bother giving it to him. And guys, at this point, like don't even bother. Just keep him this messenger character that's like super like there's no substance to him, because at least I would like take that in. Like the fact that you guys gave him like a full, like, you know, what is he, like a new, like he's like a full cast member now. Like the fact that at this point in time, season 3, he still hasn't had anything that really you can sink your teeth into. It's like, why? Just don't bother with me at this point.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Josie was more helpful than he was. My LVP is gonna go to the parents of Riverdale, not because they're keeping a secret, which they obviously are, but mostly because of the fact that they are just very careless parents. Like nobody is taking care of their kids, not one of them. If you look at even Fred Andrews, who did try his best, I'll give him that. He didn't even know where the fuck his son was. He didn't try hard enough, I don't think. I don't think Tom Keller, who used to be the sheriff, did enough investigating, even grilling his own damn son to see where Archie was in that moment. Like I get that everything happens within like a day, but like it's still, everybody is so off their game as parents. Like Hermione didn't even know what the fuck was happening to her damn daughter. Like she was in jail today.
I know. It's crazy.
Like it was wild.
And I think some of it has to do with the fact that like they don't bring in these actors to be there full time or to have all these scenes. But I feel like you have to make it make sense. Like why wouldn't Fred Andrews be there looking for his son, like in the you know, the middle of all of it? Why wouldn't Mary be back in town? Like the fact that she hasn't even been in the season. Like wait, was she in episode 1? Maybe that was it. Like where is his mom?
Yeah.
These things just don't make sense, and I understand that like logistically probably they're just not on set, they don't hire them, they don't have time for them, but like you guys have to make it make sense a little bit, because it feels like the parents are just fucking off and not giving a fuck about their kids. So like it's just not adding up.
Exactly. Like I don't know, everybody's kind of just like all over the place right now.
Yeah. The best line.
What was your best line?
My best line is at the end with Archie and Veronica, and he's like, Ronnie, when I first met you, you were it for me. And then Veronica's response is like, because we were endgame, Archie. If
you loved me, you would come home. Yeah, that was one of my best lines too, even though we're laughing through it.
Yeah.
My other best line was when Hiram said, I'm not a 16-year-old nerd.
Yeah.
And like him just kind of going off on Jughead, just because there wasn't any other good writing in this episode. But yeah, that's it, guys. Bye.